Everything changes all the time. We just don't always notice it. Sometimes things move so slowly that we think they're just always the same, but they're not. So when we run into a market like we're running into today in the mortgage and real estate industry, and this is actually happening all over the globe right now and happening all over the world, when change accelerates, people panic, but everything is polarity. Everything is light and dark and everything in between. And without polarity, without change, we don't have innovation and we don't have new ideas and we don't have new ways of doing things and new ways of seeing things. So I'm in the mortgage industry, so I'm just going to focus on the mortgage industry right now because this is on my mind, and I'm actually going to talk about this a lot more today in our Loan Officer Marketing Club. No, this isn't a commercial for Loan Officer Marketing Club. It's just where I get to think about these things out loud and have conversations about these things out loud with other mortgage professionals as we identify and acknowledge the change and the polarity in the market today and identify the opportunities. So here's a couple of examples. What's the biggest challenges that we have in the market? Everybody thinks interest rates. Well, it's not interest rates. Interest rates aren't the problem. It's affordability. Affordability is an issue. Inventory is also an issue. But on the other side of that, we have homeowners that have the lowest debt load as far as their mortgage goes with low interest rates. So they're not doing a lot. There's inventory out there. Yes, we need to build new inventory, but there is inventory out there and there is the opportunity to create more inventory. But we have two generations that are the largest generations that we've ever seen on complete polar opposites of this change that we're experiencing today. We have all of the retirees, the baby boomers that are retiring, and they're retiring at a rate, it's crazy. It's either 6,000 a day or a week or a month or something like that, but they're retiring at an incredible rate. And we also have the largest generation of millennials, and we have these Gen X's coming up that are all getting to the age where, especially the millennials, they're starting to get married, they're starting to have kids, they're starting to think about getting home, buying homes. So there is no lack of demand or desire. People still want to buy homes. There's still a very high demand. On the other side, people who own homes now, they have desires too. They would like to move. They would like to retire. They would like to go other places. But right now, everything that we hear in the news is doom and gloom. But in between these two polarities, we have the largest generation in America with the most equity that Americans have ever had in home ownership, ever. And they're retiring like crazy. And then their kids, and most likely their grandchildren, are getting married and wanting to buy homes. So look at the polarity we've got here. We've got the biggest generation with the most equity, and we have the second biggest generation, or maybe the first biggest generation here, that needs money and wants to buy homes. There is an answer in between there, and I'm going to give you a couple of ideas of what those answers look like. And some people have figured out these answers. A lot of people are just running around with their hair on fire, talking about the world burning, but the world isn't burning. Things are changing. Things are moving forward. Things are deteriorating, but that means new things are going to grow from it. Fires and volcanoes create new life. They create new opportunities. These things are natural and they have to happen. Atrophy always happens, but nature always comes to stasis. It always finds a way to balance. When you're looking in the moment, you don't always see the change. You don't always see the stasis. You don't always see where things are leveling out or where the opportunities are arising. So here's a couple of ideas. Is anybody out there marketing to homeowners and retirees not just telling them, hey, now is a good time to sell or whatever, but is your messaging about, hey, could your grandkids and your kids and your grandkids, could you help them to live the life that you've built over your career? Now is a time to shift this wealth and shift this equity into these other generations. Heck, we just had last week, FHA just changed their ADU rules, right? If you've been paying attention to the classes that I've been giving, one of my classes was on house hacking. The younger generations love buying homes that generate revenue. Well, retirees are also looking at buying properties that generate revenue. So how about this for an idea? What if you start marketing to homeowners that have all of this equity, they sell their home, they take the equity, they buy or build a smaller home with an income producing unit on that. Yes, you can do that with FHA now, right? You can take income from an ADU and you can use that as income to generate, to qualify for the loan. But what you can also do is you can offset, well, first of all, with as much equity as there is in home ownership right now, they can probably buy a house free and clear and build an ADU. And this retired couple on a fixed income now can create an income producing property on their property. And heck, they could travel the country in their RV or go sailing in their catamaran around the country while they do short-term rentals on both of their properties to generate income. These folks also, with all of this equity that they have, you don't think they want to help their grandchildren buy homes? If you look at the reports of first-time home buyers, especially the Gen Z, more and more Gen Z are getting gifts from their parents and their grandparents to purchase homes. So we have this polarity. We have a need. There's a huge generation of Americans, young generations, young Americans that that are forming households that need housing, and then we have an aging generation that has more equity than we've ever been able to measure since they've been measuring it. So there's something in there, you guys. I'm not saying that I have all the answers, but I'm saying that I'm identifying opportunities, and there are absolutely opportunities here. But if everybody's running around talking about the problems, they're not thinking about the solutions. There's always a solution. It's just a matter of perspective. How do you look at this? Do you choose to decide that this is a bad thing, or are you going to choose to decide that this is an opportunity and this is a time to be innovative? Listen, all of my old timers in the mortgage industry, and I'm not saying that, I'm not talking down to you. I'm an old timer in the industry. I'm retired from origination. I'm in my mid 50s, right? I turned 55 this year. There's a lot of you out there that have lived, you probably lived through the 80s, so you probably recognize this market. 2008 was a little bit different market, but you probably survived that. Well, you probably have a book of business. You probably have some savings. You probably have some assets. Listen, if you want to get out of the business right now, go for it. Absolutely. Get out of the industry. Don't worry about your mortgage business. Take your database and sell your database to a younger originator that is just getting started, that's looking at this market as an opportunity, because I 100% guarantee you that this market will create opportunities, it will create wealth, and it will create people that survive, and there will be people that will choose to not deal with this again. So listen, I have these conversations a lot for 2 hours every single week, actually. You can get more information. I think this is an important conversation to have, but I want to leave you with this. There are major opportunities. And yes, the opportunities seem like, well, that's only going to apply to a certain number of people, and that's only going to apply to a certain number of people. But listen, when your on the job, when you're focusing on creating opportunities where the opportunities are, then you're going to be in the mindset and you're going to be in a position when bigger opportunities open. You're going to have that exposure. You're going to have that those relationships. You're going to have that reputation as somebody who's an innovator and a thought leader and quite frankly, just a leader of people when things get better. And that's when your success is going to compound. So listen, if you're an older generation loan officer like myself, think about giving your database, not giving your database, selling your database to a younger loan officer. Databases are everything. They may not be producing money right now, but they will in the future. So give them your database, make an introduction. The younger generation, they'll pay you basis points on every single deal that closes. There's ways to figure this out. There's ways to do this. I'm not telling you I have all the answers, but I have ideas that you should be thinking about. So if you're thinking, I just can't do this anymore, then help a younger loan officer, sell your database to them, create that revenue stream, go off and golf, take up pickleball like I did, go do something that's fun. Don't kill yourself worrying about the fact that things aren't the way that they've always been, because things are never the way that they've always been. They've always changed. Just sometimes they change so slowly you don't notice it, and sometimes they change so quickly you can't believe it. But things always change, and there's so much opportunity right now in this market. I'm not saying everybody has opportunity, because most people are not going to be in the right mindset to find the opportunity. But I absolutely promise you there are opportunities, there are ways, and this is just a matter of perspective. Do you choose to have this be the worst thing that could happen to you, or do you choose to have this for this to be the greatest opportunity to innovate and to create and to build new things and generate new life out of the death of old things? That is how life works. That is, everything is always in atrophy. Everything is always becoming new. That's just the cycle of life. That's how everything happens, not just business. So let me know what you think about this, but I'm telling you, have these conversations with people like me that want to have these conversations. Don't hang out with people that are just doom and gloom, hair on fire. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't know what I'm going to do. You know what? Those people don't know what they're going to do, but there's a lot of people out there that do know what they're going to do. They're going to put their head down. They're going to focus. They're going to pay attention. They're going to look for opportunities. And when they don't see one, they're going to create an opportunity. So are you a complainer or are you a creator? And that's my question for you today.